Hi, second graders, Miss Letchworth here. And today I wanted to give you an example of how to write a paragraph about a fable, the work you have been doing in content. Let's think about the steps. Number one, always, anytime, we think about a story as we read. So that's step number one. Number two, recount the story or retell the story in your own words. Number three, think about the lesson the characters learn, and then consider if that is a lesson that we, the readers, can also learn. Number four, look at the steps for writing a fable paragraph in your journal checklist. You might have this from your packet that your parents picked up for you from school. You can also click on this document from this presentation and it will take you to that link, or you'll find the link in your checklist that your teacher sent. And number five, as you write each sentence at the bottom of the page, check it off at the top. Now, if you are writing somewhere else, you still want to have this page open on your computer screen so that you can ensure you have each and every step to make an awesome paragraph. So today I wanted to show you the example of a fable paragraph using the story of the tortoise and the hare. As we listen to the story, we're going to think about it as we read. Then I'll ask you to pause your screen and tell the story in your own words. And then think about the lesson the characters learn and ask if there's a lesson that we, the readers, can also learn. So without further ado, let's listen to the story of the tortoise and the hare.
One day, the hare and the tortoise decided to have a race. The hare was making fun of the tortoise. He said,
"You are so slow. It will take you days to reach anywhere."
"Is that so, you arrogant hare? Let's have a race and see who is faster."
The angry tortoise decided to challenge the hare and teach him a lesson. The hare was amused and looked at the whole thing as a joke. They decided on the racing path and chose the fox as the umpire. The rivals started as expected. The speedy hare soon left the tortoise far behind. Having reached halfway, the hare decided to take a break.
"What a lovely summer day it is. I will eat some grass and rest before I restart the race."
So he began to nibble on the green grass of the meadows. Soon after, he decided to take a nap. He thought,
"Even if the tortoise passes me, I will overtake him and reach the finish line. There's nothing to worry about with this slow tortoise."
The tortoise plodded on, unwavering, unhesitating, towards his goal in his resolve to beat the hare. The hare, in the meantime, had overslept. When he awoke, he realized that the tortoise had overtaken him by quite a distance. He cursed and ran as fast as he could. When he reached the finish line, the tortoise was already there, waiting for the hare's late arrival. The hare learned his lesson. Never make fun of anyone's weakness. Pride and arrogance will always lead to your downfall. The hare accepted his defeat graciously and apologized to the tortoise for his rude behavior.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to pause your video right now and retell or recount the story in your own words and recall the lesson that we learned from the story. And now we are ready to write. So using this checklist, we're going to look at the steps that are required, and then as we write each sentence, check off or make sure that we have written down each and every one. So for the story of the tortoise and the hare, I'm going to begin with a sentence that tells the title, main characters, and setting. It might sound something like this. The Tortoise and the Hare is a fable about a smart tortoise, a boastful hare, and the race they run together in the forest. So notice I have included all three parts, title, main characters, and setting. Your second part or sentence should tell about the problem or the challenge in the story. Hare brags to Tortoise, certain that he is faster and can win the race. This makes Tortoise angry, and he sets off to teach Hare a lesson. So I have told how the characters are acting and how they're feeling and why that's a problem in the story. Next, I want to tell what the characters do in response to the problem, how they feel, what they say, what they do. In this story, Hare dashed off, but soon took a nap because he knew Tortoise was far behind. Tortoise continued slowly on, determined to beat Hare. And last, we're telling about the solution. When Hare woke up and finished the race, he saw that Tortoise had beaten him to the finish line. Hare was a good sport and apologized to Tortoise for making fun of him. Last, I read a sentence to tell the central message or lesson or moral of the story. This story teaches us not to make fun of others or brag. Hare realized he was rude to Tortoise and apologized. Even though Hare was fast, bragging about his speed did not help him win the race. You could have stopped with just, the story teaches us not to make fun of others or brag. But I wanted to share in the details of the story how the characters learn that to tell what lesson I learned. Now, of course, the very, very last step that's not mentioned on your checklist is for you to go back and reread each of your sentences to make sure that you have retold the big important parts of the story, you have summarized well, and that you have included the lesson. That is an example of what I will be checking for and your teachers will be checking for as you read and respond to fables that you've assigned to you for content. Happy reading and writing.